Hi, my name's Elliot. It was just as the New Year's celebrations ended that my family surprised me with something absolutely horrendous.
Son, I'd like you to meet Emma.
I shook her hand, but instead she grabbed me and pulled me close, kissing me wherever she could reach. I tried to push her away, but Emma seemed to think she was an octopus and I was her next meal. Every arm I pried off of me was replaced by another, stronger arm that gripped me harder the more I pulled away. Mom, help! Emma finally realized I was just not that into her and she released me, her face clearly disappointed. Mom pinched my ear and led me out of earshot ear first. Don't you dare ruin this. Your father has worked tirelessly to get this deal on the table. What? You're gonna marry that woman if you want to one day inherit all of this. What? She's older than you. The dinner ended early with Emma storming out after she heard what I loudly proclaimed. Dad gave me an earful and Mom sent me to bed. They made me pack up everything I owned so that Emma could come get me in the morning to live with her before our wedding. Instead, I snuck out of there while everyone was asleep. My parents only cared about money and how to grow what they already have. I decided that kind of life was no longer for me. I still had the trust fund Grandma left me, and I didn't want my parents treating me like their puppet anymore. I had a backpack and $50 in cash. I stole the gardener's son's clothes and left a few designer stuff to pay him for it. I was dressed humbly and I dyed my hair black. I went out the back gate looking like a different person. Even if Dad sent his security detail after me, they wouldn't know by the way I blended into the crowd. I took the bus to the next city, and when I hopped on, I bumped into the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen. Oh, I'm sorry. No, not at all. Is this your seat? Yeah, but if you want, we can swap. I spent the whole night buzzing. Her name was Camilla. We talked and laughed, and it felt like I'd met my soulmate. I eventually fell asleep with her head on my shoulder. But when I woke up, as the bus pulled into the station, she was gone. I called my grandma's lawyer and got access to my trust fund. I got myself a simple car and a small one-bedroom apartment. I walked all over town, handing out my resume to a bunch of people. Only 3 places called me back. But when I got to the third one for the interview, I saw her again. I knew it was fate. Why else would we keep meeting like that? I'll take the job.
We only really have one vacancy, and looking at your impressive CV, you're way overqualified for the position. I mean, you should be running the place with these qualifications.
I don't mind. Whatever it is, I'll take it. The boss was perplexed, but he let me work there anyway. Except every day he'd ask me into his office, checking if I was okay with the work. He even apologized for only paying me the minimum. But I actually liked manual labor. I liked being busy. One day, the boss finally understood why I was there when he saw me follow Camilla with a stare as she walked by.
I'd be careful with that one if I were you.
I didn't understand what my boss meant until weeks later, when Camilla and I finally crossed paths again. Oh, it's you. I didn't realize you were. But the smile on Camilla's face faded the second she looked down at what I was wearing. The overalls of the people who worked the back of the house. I cleaned the cars when renters brought them back. I repaired ones that needed fixing or maintenance. And my hands were covered in grease. Sorry, my mistake. I must have mistaken you for someone else. No, it's me. We met at...
Beat it, kid. She says she doesn't know you. Why would anyone like us know someone like you?
The way he said it, it felt like Greg was saying I was some speck of dirt.
Now, go do whatever it is you grease monkeys do in the back. And just a piece of advice, don't talk to Camilla again. You're punching above your weight. I suggest you date someone more your speed. Someone who wouldn't mind going to a date at a drive-thru.
At the end of the month, the company hosted a year-end party, everyone was so excited. The company rarely had any budget to give people overtime pay, much less host a party. But that night, the whole company was flown to an exclusive resort. The event was wildly extravagant, with fire dancers, gourmet food tents, and bands that you'd only see at Coachella. I approached Camilla again. She was at the resort bar with her friends. One last time, I wanted to give her the opportunity to rewrite her treatment of me, to finally admit that we clicked during that bus ride. But instead of being nice about it, she threw her drink at me. How many times? I told you to stay away from me. You're being absolutely creepy. What bus? You think I would ever ride a bus anywhere? Now get out of here. You stink. You're all greasy and gross. I swear, if you ask me to dance with you again, I'm filing a complaint to HR. Everyone saw her, heard her. Some people took pity on me, and some laughed.
I warned you, didn't I? Camilla is mine, loser. Come near her again and you'll wish you hadn't crawled out of whatever squatter's dump you were born in.
I left embarrassed, but I knew the tables were gonna turn. The program began and the company moved to the beach where there was a stage for the bands. My name was called. The head of the company wanted me on stage. I'd already changed into a suit, and everyone was staring at me, wondering where I'd gotten such an expensive change of clothes. Camilla and Greg sneered. They thought I was about to be called out for the scene at the bar.
The first time I met Elliot, I thought he was nuts for wanting to work as one of our mechanics. But today, it is my utmost honor and pride to introduce you all, our new CEO and proud sponsor of today's lavish celebrations, Elliot Reed.
Everyone went quiet, so quiet that you could hear Greg and Camilla's jaws drop. For a while now, I'd hidden the fact that I bought out 51% of our company. I'd always been into cars, and I always knew how to fix one. If my grandma taught me anything about business, it was that you had to know it inside and out to be successful. And so I didn't mind getting my hands dirty doing menial jobs. It made me learn so much about the business and the people who worked there. After a short speech, my colleagues applauded, still stunned by the reveal. As soon as I stepped off the stage to welcome the band, Greg rushed to me and knelt on the sand.
I'm sorry. I must have acted so appalling. I just want you to know that I am 100% committed to this job, and I will do whatever you want. If you want Camilla, you should have her.
Thanks, but no thanks on the Camilla front. But I'm happy to hear that you're committed. 'Cause now that I'm vacating my old position, we need a new mechanic and car wash attendant. So, see you next Monday in your new position. As Greg begged me not to demote him, Camilla came running towards us. Hi, so I heard you wanted to dance. I sure do, but you're blocking the way. I pushed her aside, and instead, I started dancing with Lola, our way hotter receptionist. I thought I'd gotten the better of them. But months later, Camilla and Greg spread the rumor that I was about to have a baby with Camilla, and I wasn't taking responsibility. I just ignored it, thinking it would go away and the truth would prevail. Unfortunately, Camilla had a talent for lying and pretending to cry. And soon enough, I was seen in the office as the bad guy. HR even came to my office and told me I could lose my position and the company would be mired in scandal if I didn't pony up. To be fair, I did have a reputation of being a bit of a womanizer in the office, so it wasn't too hard to imagine that Camilla was telling the truth, but she wasn't. Camilla sued me for child support, and I ended up going along with the farce because I had a secret weapon, and I didn't want them to know until it was too late. Everyone from work was there, As soon as the trial began, my lawyer pulled up a bunch of footage for everyone to see. What Camilla and Greg didn't know is that I had cameras put up the very day I became CEO. And when they were planning on how to extort me in the employees' break room, they were caught on camera. Every single word they said was played for everyone to hear.
Liars! Elliot was innocent all along! Order! Order in the court! You two have wasted this court's time. I hereby fine you $5,000.
Months later, I won my defamation lawsuit against them to the delicious tune of $250,000. I didn't need it, but I used it to increase the pay for my employees. And the best part? Camilla and Greg were paying for it with their free labor. See, you'd think I'd fire them, but no. I made sure they paid every cent of what they owed by working for me for free. The whole office was punishing them for their lies too, by piling all their work on their desks while we all enjoyed leisurely days relaxing in the break room. I flaunted my office romances in front of Camilla every chance I got, just to make sure she sees what she could have had if she wasn't such a conniving, judgmental gold digger.